and welcome again to another episode of the Northern Plains Water Voice. I'm your host, David Kringen. Today we are here with Travis Entenman. He is the Executive Director of the Friends of the Big Sioux River. And Travis is going to talk a little bit about a unique pilot project they've got going on this year on Covell Lake here in Sioux Falls. And that unique pilot project is floating islands. So welcome to the Water Voice, Travis.
Thank you.
So tell me, what are floating islands and what kind of benefits do they provide?
Yeah, so these floating islands, really floating ecosystems, habitats, are these man-made structures that we are putting into our local water bodies and implementing and planting native vegetation, be it wetland vegetation or grassland vegetation. And the purpose of it is one, to build urban habitat. So these structures are in urban settings. So at Covell Lake in Sioux Falls, it's a very urban center. The Big Sioux River going through Sioux Falls is an urban center. So we wanted to put these islands in these urban settings that bring in green space, softer development, urban habitat, but also water quality benefits. So with these native vegetation, the root systems dangling in our water bodies as they are, hopefully would provide an additional water quality benefit.
So what gave you the idea to try it here?
Yeah, so I actually stumbled upon an organization in Chicago called Urban Rivers, and they did this on a large scale within the Chicago River. So they have what they call the Wild Mile, and they have these floating island infrastructure within the river, and it's hooked to their seawall, and it provides urban green space. So it's part of a larger park initiative the city has. And I saw that they were working on this and the water quality benefits they were seeing and the habitat benefits they're seeing. I'm like, why couldn't we do something like that on a smaller scale in Sioux Falls and just see what we can do? So that was the catalyst for the idea, and then kind of grew from there.
So how were these things designed? Did you have a partner or collaborators to help you with these?
Yeah, so fortunately we have a great group of engineers on the banks of Big Sioux in Sioux Falls with Raven Industries and CNH. So I had a meeting with them, just talking about general partnerships of how we could all work together. And I brought up this idea. It wasn't fully formed yet, these floating islands, but I kind of said, I have this wild idea about putting some floating structures in. And they were gung-ho. So two employees from Raven, John and Sienna, they are engineers by trade, and they design these things for us. So they took, instead of us purchasing them from other companies, because there were models around, but they were very expensive. And something that we couldn't afford as a nonprofit. So they took it under themselves, got a grant through Raven and CNH to buy the materials and designed, engineered these prototypes. And it was a great collaboration.
Now, I know you installed these in June.
Yes.
What have you learned so far?
Yeah, so this year was very much a pilot project. We wanted to see, one, can it float? And then two, what kind of vegetation does well? So since installing them in June, one, the structures we put together float, which is wonderful. So there's four separate sections that we put together. So one, the structures do work, they do float, they do hold our vegetation and our growing materials in it. So we use coconut husk as kind of the plant medium to hold everything together. And then two, which plants do well. So each of the sections have its own unique plant makeup. So some of them are only wetland plants, some of them are only grassland plants, native prairie plants, and then a combination of both. So what we've really learned is what plants do well quickly too. What gets oversaturated, which ones grow more underneath, or the canopy grows more in the summer. So it's been a good learning opportunity that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what are your hopes for these islands going forward? Do you have any future plans with them?
Yeah, so obviously, these 4 structures by themselves are not going to clean Coal Lake or clean the Big Sioux River. So the hope is, one, is to get these into the Big Sioux River downtown. And really what we're trying to do with them is, it's a novel way for education. Get folks talking about, like, why are those floating things out in the water? Why are the grasses planted on them and growing everywhere? And then start that conversation on how that helps water quality. So our goal is to put these structures, one, kind of redefine or refine the structures themselves, make it a little bit easier to move, because they're like 300-400 pounds a pop. So they're kind of hard. I mean, they fit on a trailer. We can move them around, but make them a little bit more portable. So redefine or reconfigure those, but also get them in more urban settings. So in Sioux Falls, maybe take them through, like, down to Campton or through Brandon, or, different urban settings, just again to highlight how these urban habitats can help water quality and bring in more habitat. So really trying to just build it out more, and then hopefully we can partner with the universities around and start doing some research around nutrient uptake and habitat changes, and maybe add some freshwater mussel studies to it as well. So make it an education piece for the public, but also for researchers to figure out maybe there's a way to implement these at a larger scale, similar to what they're doing in Chicago.
Interesting. That's good stuff. So, well, Travis, thanks for chatting with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, and stay tuned for more right here on the Northern Plains Water Voice.